John unwittingly gains superpowers. With a wave of his hand, a pile of gold bars immediately appeared. With a wave of his hand, millions of dollars in a flash. If you want abs, you can get them in a minute. You can do it. You can even get dressed. You don't even have to do it yourself. But just a few days ago, John was just a failed high school teacher. The students were a mess in class. Students simply ignored him, and even occasionally had to be from the principal. And it was on this uneventful one day, on a normal day, a higher being from another planet discovered the existence of Earth. The aliens had wanted to destroy the planet. But when they saw how beautiful Earth, so they gave the Earth a chance. They would then choose an Earthling as an expedition, and give that person a superpower to make things happen. If the person uses their powers to do something bad, the aliens will immediately destroy the Earth. If not, they passed the test. It was on this day that John accidentally fell off his bike. Then a light struck him. John didn't feel anything. Something was wrong. He went to school as usual. At lunchtime, a colleague asked John a question. If you have the ability to think, the ability to make things happen, what would you like to do now? John waved his hand and said, I would have an alien ship blow up, Class C to blow up. Suddenly there was an explosion. John rushed to check it out, but to his surprise, the mischievous Class C was really blown up. When he came home from work to see the dog pooping again, a distraught John waved his hand and said, if only he could get into the toilet by himself. I wish. Then, the scene in front of him made John instantly dumbfounded. John rushed to the kitchen. He thought he was dreaming, so he tried to drink a bottle of wine to clear his head, but in his panic, he spilled it. At this point an idea came to him. He wanted to check if he really had superpowers. Then he waved his hand and said to put the wine back into the bottle. And it did. It was only then that John realized if he waved his hand and said anything would come true. This made him happy and he rushed to clean his mouth. But as he brushed, he remembered the student who had been blown up. So he waved his hand and said, let all the dead come back to life. As a result, the students who had been blown up in the morning, the students did come back to life. But even those who had, all the people who had died, came back to life. Seeing this, John knew he'd messed up. So he then rushed back to when there was no explosion, before the explosion. So he went back to before the explosion. But by this time John also knew that he had superpowers. In order to verify that his powers was still there, he waved his hand to Class C and said his wish. And then, the once mischievous students immediately became a good student. Luckily, still at the end of the day, he knew about his powers. As he walked, he suddenly wanted to do something, what many people are afraid to do.
Please subscribe and turn on notification bell for continuation. Thanks.